Let me tell y'all, I did not plan on ever making this type of video again because I thought that over time that they'll make a lot of improvements, but they've made improvements to where I have to talk about it for a second time, and this type of content I haven't made in a while anyway. And this was some of my best content back when I started making wrestling content, like my first half of making wrestling content. So, yeah, I feel like this video is gonna be fun. It's gonna be educational, and I feel like a lot of people should take this video and like use it as ammunition to actually value wrestling and use it to kind of like be bigger fans, give more creative ideas about wrestling, and just appreciate what you have with the wrestling company you love. Because at the end of the day, there are just certain things that won't change. And over time, when certain things they don't change, they're too original, eventually you're gonna like it. Like you've seen this with bad guys, you've seen this with bad guys turn good guys, you've seen this with good guys turn bad guys. Like eventually when you do like the same shtick over and over again, it eventually works with people. So, and I'm applying that to AEW and WWE because they have went with their guns multiple times, and it's just like, can we really blame them? Like, you're still gonna watch them both. You're still gonna love pro wrestling, and at the end of the day, what I'm saying or what you're saying or what you're suggesting in the comment section, like, it's not really gonna change any much about this company. So yes, this is a AEW versus WWE part 2. Now, I've made the point before that the entertainment aspect by a mile, WWE has it. But if we're talking about pure quality in wrestling and stuff like that, AEW also has that by a mile. But both the parties, they both improved on both areas of that. Considering, WWE has the NXT brand where they're putting on bangers. AEW is creating more intriguing storylines for people to sink their teeth into. And like I said, I wanted to make this video because both companies made major improvements when it came to like, trying to be the best that they can be and get the higher ratings that they can get. And a lot of stuff has changed. And you know what I'm saying? Let's get started. Let's start with WWE. Now, obviously, I'm more of a WWE content creator myself. I get suggestions to make AEW content and stuff like that, but that's for another story. Let's talk about the pros real quick. The pros are that WWE values what pro wrestling is supposed to be. Entertainment. By a mile. Like, I've made this point 1,000 times. WWE values entertainment and what pro wrestling is supposed to be and the fun that you're supposed to have. Now, we've been missing on that. I just grew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19 years old. I've been watching WWE for going on 13 years now. Like, they just have a thing where like you can't copy them and you can't really do what they do. Like, because WWE can put on some good matches. They can absolutely do that. They had like Buddy Rogers. They had Bruno Sammartino. They had guys who really loved the sport. They got guys like Gunther who were fucking putting on some of the best matches that they've seen in WWE for like years. But if it wasn't for the entertainment aspect of WWE, we wouldn't have guys like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. We wouldn't have the Usos. We wouldn't have Sami Zayn. We wouldn't have the Bloodline. We wouldn't have a lot of these guys who you love today without the aspect of entertainment. So yeah, we can definitely be thankful that they value that on such a high level. Another pro about WWE is that they all you really have to do is buy a subscription on like a random like platform to like like watch the premium live events. Because at the end of the day, bro, nobody wants to sit there and pay like every single month for a new pay-per-view. Because AEW does it, but I'll get to that in another time. AEW makes you like go, well, they have Amazon Prime now, but in order to like watch it on other platforms, you have to pay for it like for one time, and like that's it. And then you have to pay for it for another time, and then yeah. But the thing with WWE is that like all you gotta do is buy a subscription and you can watch every single pay-per-view that they have. And I feel like that's more, that's a good business move because you don't want your fans to feel like you have to pay every single time. Like you want your fans to feel special. You want to feel like everybody can watch it. everybody can see what special thing is happening. And I feel like, that's good marketing. But just making everything free is also not really an option. But yeah, I feel like WWE does a good job with that. Another pro, which is live shows. WWE shows a lot of love and a lot of, support to other, not companies, like just other countries and other cities. Like they show love to me. I'm from Alexandria, Louisiana. They show love to Alexandria, Louisiana. They went out there plenty of times. I had a good time. I seen guys like Braun Strowman. I seen Jinder Mahal. I seen fucking Seth Rollins. I even have a Seth Rollins shirt, the Burn It Down shirt. Like I literally have that shirt still till this day. I was 11 years old. Like I went there for my birthday. I think I can find the footage where like I kind of recorded somebody competing. I also saw Finn Balor there. But yeah, they do travel a lot. They go on a lot of tours, and they show a lot of good fan engagement. I don't know like any live event that AEW has done, but overall there might be a reasoning for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have done it. I'll go do my research. But yeah, I love the live events, and they are for sure some of the best that I've ever seen. So yeah, that's a good pro. Now we get on to the cons. Now, there are so many cons. I'm not going to say every single con that I think, because what I think, it's like kind of a personal reasoning. A lot of people may think differently. But yeah, I'm not going to say every single con. I'm going to say the ones that are like extremely specific. So yeah, here come the cons. Con number one, the lack of just effort that they put in the matches in the PLEs. Like, I just, it's been missing that for the longest time. Like, let's be real. WrestleMania is the biggest event of the year. Like, literally. And, like, everybody wants to be a part of it. Every NFL player, every celebrity, every rapper, every streamer, like, every social media maker star, everybody wants to be a part of it. And people will die trying to compete at WrestleMania and put on the best show that they could possibly put on. And for them to like stop trying to give quality matches and at least give the people a show to watch, like it's pitiful in my opinion. Like there were only 2 good matches on WrestleMania this year, which was the triple threat main event on Saturday and then the triple threat kickoff on Sunday. But other than that, like the main event of WrestleMania Sunday was horrible. Like I love John Cena, but it was just horrible. It got 1 star by that idiot Dave Meltzer, and everybody was pissed off. I understand wanting to ruin like John Cena's gimmick of wanting to ruin wrestling and him having that heel turn and that being a part of his plan, but he can do that and put on a quality match because we all know John Cena and Cody Rhodes can do that. They did it at SummerSlam. Like it's not like they're not capable of it. Like Cody did it with AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, like Seth Rollins, and then John Cena did it with like every superstar you can kind of count on. And it's just like, why are we missing that aspect? I understand entertainment. I understand, trying to go along with the gimmick. But it's just, you're a wrestling company at the end of the day. Like, you're supposed to put on these type of matches and just give the people a show. Now, to be fair, like American crowds, they're not like overseas crowds. They're not excited for every single match, like to show. Like, because at the end of the day, bro, like when you go overseas, they will appreciate any type of. They will make any match that's on their show feel like it's the match of the night. And so I feel like that kind of takes account to American crowds, but at the same time, it's still important to put on quality matches, especially being a top tier, #1 wrestling company. My second con is just the lack of care for the fans and their suggestions. Like, bro, it's just been a lot of things that, I've had ideas, the fans have ideas, the IWC has ideas, and it's just like they don't care. Like LA Knight, for example. We've been wanting him to win Money in the Bank for what? 2-3 years now. And they just fell back on that because they want LA Knight to, do all this shit just wasting away doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Like I just don't understand. Now LA Knight, he's on the main event scene now. He's fighting for the world championship at Clash in Paris. So, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of in the main event scene now. But it could have been definitely better that he won Money in the Bank. Because I'm going to be honest. I did not want Seth Rollins to win Money in the Bank. A lot of other people didn't want Seth Rollins to win Money in the Bank. He didn't need to. He already has the most legendary, greatest cash-in of all time. There was literally no reason for him to win the Money in the Bank contract. Like, LA Knight would have been perfect for that. 2023 peak LA Knight would have been perfect for that. Last year, he would have been perfect for that. But y'all fucked it up. He gave it to Drew McIntyre for some reason. And this year, specifically, for some reason, y'all thought it was a great idea to give this nigga Seth the championship again. And I'm not saying that Seth Rollins doesn't deserve it, because he does. But at the same time, it's just... that could have still happened with LA Knight being Mr. Money in the Bank. That would have made the story like a lot with them, LA Knight and Seth Rollins, 10 times better. Because let's face it, LA Knight is definitely world championship material. He's been world champion at TNA. He was... Well, I don't really know any other company that he was world champion for, or any other company aside from TNA that he was in outside of, WWE. But anyways, he is definitely capable of being world champion, and he will definitely get there one day. I don't see him doing it anytime soon, because Triple H's booking is not really all that anyway, but it is what it is. It will be LA Knight's time, but just not yet, I guess. But the they just don't listen to the fans. They don't care too much about the fans. They only care about, the business. And I can go so much in depth with this, but it's whatever. Like, I kind of already made my point. Third con, just the lack of pushes that are needed for top stars like Carmelo Hayes, Austin Theory, Ludwig Kaiser, and etc. Like, I could go on and on and on and on about this list, but at the same time, it's just the lack of people who don't get pushed and they deserve it. Like, they just released Karrion Kross. They didn't renew his contract. Now, I don't know if they have anything planned for him or if they offered him a new contract, but I just seen Karrion Kross make an appearance for this company, this independent company, and apparently he's having a great time, so good on him. I wish him nothing but the best if, they didn't offer a new contract. But before then, it's just a lot of people deserve to be champion, deserve to win this match, deserve to have this accomplishment, and just there's no real care for young superstars like Carmelo Hayes. They've been wanting him on television. The crowd has been wanting him on television for the longest time. That's never happened. Ludwig Kaiser is playing the second-rate version of El Grande Americano. Chad Gable was originally supposed to get a push, which I think he was. I think that he could have faced Gunther at WrestleMania. Don't really care. Shout out to Sami Zayn though. And also Pete Dunne. I haven't heard from him in a while. What happened to him? Are they working on the El Grande Americano for him too? I really don't understand why certain young talent is getting looked over. Like the New Catch Republic with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. They are a great tag team. They put on a great match with the Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber last year. And ever since WrestleMania, they were just swept under the rug. And nothing has been going good for them. They haven't been on television. Which I think is bullshit. But at the end of the day, bro, it's not like it's going to get any different. Hopefully, all the superstars I named off are going to get their pushes. But yeah, bro, I don't really see it happening anytime soon. And yeah, I guess we're just going to have to keep hoping. And now we're on to AEW with their pros and cons. Now, AEW, they were created in 2019. And this company is kind of just I get a lot of suggestions and, requests to talk about this company just because of, my love for wrestling and my great eyesight as a wrestling critic. And just knowing how I love quality matches, I get a lot of suggestions and ideas to talk about this. But it's just this company has always been... I just like to give them more time. Because there's a lot of things that I disagree with in terms of this company and shit like that. I want to get this out the way. Excuse me. Now, the one thing that I disagreed with wholeheartedly was when they fucking played that footage of Jack Perry and CM Punk, which there was no reason to do that at all. And that was just now I know I'm just like, rambling on about random shit, but at the same time it's just like, this was the dumbest thing ever. Like, y'all are playing a real fight on national television of something that happened a year ago. Well, a year, prior to, yeah, but at the same time it's like, this happened a whole year ago. I don't know why we're still like even talking about it. Like, it's so fucking dumb. But at the end of the day, bro, it is what it is with them. They did their thing. They did what they needed to do. Yeah, I kind of got over it. But I just wanted to kind of talk about it from that. All right, let's get to the pros. The first pro is that, yes, they do have wrestling quality. Like, they have wrestling quality like no other. They put on some of the best matches that I've ever seen in my life. I can name 55-star matches, like, for surely. I can make a whole video about that. And, they got some of the best wrestlers in the world. They got Will Ospreay. They got Jon Moxley. They got fucking Konosuke Takeshita. They got Kyle Fletcher. They got... there's just a lot of other people that I can name. And just a lot of young stars that they put over sometimes. But it's just a lot of things where it's just, it doesn't need to be all about the wrestling. And I feel like, that could be but let's be real, that could kind of be their shtick. You know what I'm saying? They could kind of be their shtick. They could be just good at wrestling. But the only company that I really know that's like really just that at wrestling and just focusing just on wrestling is New Japan. And they value wrestling to an extent where every match has to be perfect. Which Japan has like kind of perfect everything, but that's besides the point. I digress. But I will give it to AEW. They signed all these New Japan people. I think they just signed what's his name? Ace Austin to the company. The guy from TNA, which he is a good addition. So they definitely value like good wrestlers, and a lot of people, former WWE people, need to be there, because if we're talking about like just eliminating the entertainment aspect and just like going in and just relying on their wrestling skill, it's perfect. So yeah, that's one pro about them. A second pro is that they let their wrestlers wrestle on other companies. Now, I didn't really say this on WWE. Well, they let their wrestlers wrestle on different companies because, WWE owns the companies. But if we're talking about like just going to indie companies, doing what you need to do, and just showing out and making your name bigger in other companies for AEW, then I feel like that aspect is it's perfect. Because at the end of the day, bro, nobody wants to feel like they're under control and needs to be like so exclusive with this one company. Like, WWE has a problem with their wrestlers just going out showing love to the companies that, bought the wrestlers to where they are today. Now, I'm not going to say they do this all the time. Like, for example, AJ Styles just went back to TNA, where AJ Styles was like really popping back then for TNA, perhaps the greatest TNA world champion of all time. They allowed, JD and Finn Balor to go back to an indie promotion in Ireland. They allowed a lot of things. And like, they're allowing Dominic Mysterio to go to AAA and do his thing there. But at the same time, if it's outside of a company that they don't own, then they don't allow it. Like, AEW allows their wrestlers to, go out and make a bigger name for themselves and win championships there. Like, for example, fucking Josh Alexander is like the Canadian champion over there at MLP. Konosuke Takeshita just won the G1. Like, if we're being like, Jon Moxley won the IWGP World Championship. Like, they can make their names bigger over there, and they could make resources to bring other people from other companies over there. So I feel like they're open. AEW is pretty open to like new ideas, new companies, working with new companies, and just making bigger names for their superstars, caring a lot about their superstars, especially their younger superstars. And I'm kind of proud that they do stuff like that, because that's the one thing that I would want for any wrestling company, to allow their wrestlers to be free. The third pro, it's kind of uncensored, essentially. Like, a lot of people can say whatever they want. Well, not whatever they want, but at the same time, it's not like WWE where you have to hold your tongue on a lot of things. Like, if you want to go out there and say how you feel, you can say how you feel. Like, MJF has done it. CM Punk did it while he was there a lot. And well, I can't really think of a lot of other wrestlers, but there's been a lot of promos where there were a lot of real involved in it. Like, nobody holds their tongue. Nobody has to worry about the consequences of doing it. Like, no. At the end of the day, there's not a lot of PG-13 with fucking AEW. Like, Tony Storm makes like weird like sex jokes every single week on that show. Like, literally, it's so uncensored, and it's also really just, it's so fun to watch, because at the end of the day, they do value entertainment as well, and they don't want their wrestlers to feel like, that you don't have to do all this to appease people and stuff like that. Like, no, you say what you want, you say what you think is on your mind. Don't say anything too crazy, but yeah, because they are on TV still. Yeah, just don't say anything too crazy, and don't just be a dumbass. And I feel like a lot of other wrestlers have demonstrated that in multiple ways than one. So yeah, I definitely like the freedom of speech and stuff like that, and I can hope it's a lot of fun for a lot of AEW wrestlers. Now let's get to the cons. Now, I didn't think that I had a lot of cons for this company, but at the same time, it's just, there's been a lot of problems as to why I just do not make content for this company, and I don't really, enjoy it as much as a lot of people do. But at the same time, I have my opinions, you have yours, and I feel like that my opinion, well, it doesn't matter to you, but it definitely impacts like why I don't really mess with a lot of shit, because like some of my opinions are very accurate, and well, not every opinion, but some of them are. And I feel like, that everybody is entitled to their opinion. Let me stop saying the same fucking thing. Con number one. Pun intended. I think the con number one is that it's just not a lot of storylines behind anything. Like, I feel like, a lot of it is specifically just wrestling, but they don't put a lot of storylines behind it. The only great storyline that I remember is like CM Punk versus MJF. That's the only, like, that's their best rivalry. Like, one of the best rivalries that I've ever seen that year. Because it was a rivalry that was like, it was perfect. It made sense. It was box office. Considering they had MJF, who is kind of similar to CM Punk, because he is somebody that AEW rides on for a lot of things. And CM Punk, that kind of speaks for itself. That was the last great thing that they did. I'm not saying that, some of their rivalries are just nothing, but at the same time, it's just like, if we're talking about putting in effort and just, selling a fight, because you have to sell a fight in order for people to buy it. Like, you have to be able to get people invested in some way, shape, or form. I'm not going to care about this match if there was no build-up to it. I'm not going to care about this match if these two aren't really trying to, converse with each other about, like, how they're going to get it under each other's skin, how they're going to say this to piss them off. Like, I will not be compelled by that storyline. So, yeah, I feel like AEW still needs to get better with that. I'm just saying. Another con. Stop giving wrestlers that think that they have power, especially if they don't know what to fucking do with it. Like Mercedes Moné. There is no reason for her to be winning every championship for every promotion that she goes to. She had no reason to fucking hold the TBS championship for over a year. Literally, her debut match in AEW was for the TBS championship at Double or Nothing, which is their biggest pay-per-view, aside from All In. Like, literally. And she's held that championship for over a year. A year. And she's going on about and winning championships for different promotions. Like, let me get this out the way. Mercedes Moné She is very, very, very talented, and she is a game changer. Yes, I will give her that. Absolutely. But game changers don't need to constantly prove that they're game changers. They do that by putting over people, showing love. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to at least find somebody to put over, find somebody to show love to. And she has not showed love at all. Like, she has made it consistently about her. She did not need to win the Owen Hart Foundation tournament at all. It would have made more sense if Jamie Hayter had won, considering Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm have history. You know, Jamie Hayter is a former AEW Women's World Champion. And guess who took the championship from her? Toni Storm. Like, and she cheated to do so. So it's like, and on top of that, she was put out with injury because of Toni Storm. Like what are we even talking about? The story is right there. The path is right there. And you did not stick to landing whatsoever. So, yeah, that was just a prime example. I can name a multitude of other people, but it's like that was the example that I really was holding in for the longest time. And it's just pitiful. But yeah, that's another con. Another con. They signed too many ex-WWE superstars. Now, they haven't done this recently, but this is the only reason that I know this is the only reason I know AEW exists, because they signed ex-WWE superstars. Their first AEW World Champion, former WWE superstar. You know what I'm saying? Fucking the Hurt Syndicate were tag team champions within fucking a month of being in the company. Former WWE superstars. John Moxley, one of their biggest stars, former WWE superstar. Who else? Fucking Toni Storm, the current AEW Women's World Champion, former WWE superstar. It's like I could go on and about all day about this. Now, like I said, they haven't done this recently, but at the same time, it's just like they keep doing this just out of, you know, some sort of vengeance for WWE and shit like that. Like, I really do not understand why that has to happen. For example, Ricochet, I didn't care if he was there. Like, the guy is an absolute weirdo. I just don't care if he's there. And yeah, he's very talented, granted, but like I just don't give a fuck. That bald motherfucker, he just doesn't need to be there. But anybody watching this video, y'all cannot say that y'all did not know about AEW without them signing an ex-WWE superstar. Like, y'all cannot say that. Now, WWE does the same thing. Don't get me wrong. They did it a couple times. They're not exempt from this. But at the same time, AEW has made a name for it. And they just kiss the asses of former WWE superstars to make them feel special. Like, Claudio won the Ring of Honor World Championship. And it was just like, he didn't need to do it that quick. That's just personally my opinion. He is a great wrestler, but he just didn't need to do it that quick. And it was just like they have some desperate need to make them feel special. Now, WWE did drop the ball with Cesaro or Claudio heavy. But at the same time, they giving this nigga like some sort of king treatment and shit, making him win 2 world championships. Like, the shit dick rotten. I'm sorry. And there's also another con about WWE that I wanted to, you know, mention. Whatever number that I'm on for cons. The constant counter programming of AEW in their pay-per-views is absolutely annoying. There is no need for that. Heatwave could have been on Saturday. And I feel like they did Heatwave the same day as Forbidden Door so they can outshine them. Because if y'all know, like, Forbidden Door was in London, which means the time that I would wake up is the time that pay-per-view would start. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it is what it is. I'm not really going to go too in-depth with it because I've already said my piece about that. But yeah, that's the end of the video, bro. That's basically my problems and kind of like the things that I like about the companies. Hopefully y'all agree. But these are definitely just, you know, my opinions and stuff like that. You can choose to watch any company you want. I'm not here to persuade you or convince you which company is best. Like, for the answer to this video, which company is better, it's up to you, essentially. Like, I'm not going to force you. like I said, to watch any of these companies. I specifically make WWE content because I grew up watching it. I've been watching it for going on 13 years, and I've been watching AEW. I didn't even watch the first AEW match. I didn't. What am I saying? Like, I wasn't even born when the first WWE match started, but I've just been watching it longer. AEW's only been around for a couple years now, so they haven't been around for 10 years yet. So yeah, that's kind of just what I think. I'll probably make AEW content in the future, but yeah, it's all about personal preference. You can watch any company you want. I'm not here to persuade you, like I said. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I love y'all, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.